Hello, my name is Susan Hendricks, and I'm an attorney at the Legal Aid Society of Palm Beach County. I'm going to discuss some of the educational issues that you may encounter as a foster parent. The first is school registration. Florida law requires children who are between the ages of 5.5 and 18 at the beginning of the school year be enrolled in school. So, if the child who has been placed in your care is of school age, one of the first things you will need to do is register her at the local public school. If you do not know the school that serves your neighborhood, you can locate it by looking it up on the Find My School section in the school district's website. Or you can call the school district's main office to locate the school. Because the child is in the legal custody of the Department of Children and Families, the child's dependency case manager will need to go with you when you enroll the child in school. Several documents are needed to enroll a child in school. First, you will need to bring 2 pieces of mail, such as a utility bill or telephone bill, that list your name and address. These should be dated within the last month. Other types of documents you can provide as a proof of address are a lease or your mortgage or tax bills. You also need to provide a copy of the child's birth certificate. If this is the first time the child is being enrolled in school, she will need to see a pediatrician to have a school entry health exam form completed. This form, along with a record of the child's immunizations, must also be provided to the school. Don't worry if you don't have them immediately. These are the types of records that you have the extra 30 days to obtain. If there is a court order prohibiting or limiting the contact that the parent or anyone else has with the child, a copy of that order should be given to the school. If the child previously attended school, you should provide the name and location of that school so that the school the child is now attending can obtain records. While you are at the school, make sure you ask about school uniform requirements and get school bus information. The child cannot be kept out of school during the initial 30-day period because she doesn't have a uniform, however. If you encounter any problems enrolling the child in school, contact the school district's foster care liaison, Diane Schumacher, for assistance. Another issue you may encounter are what are called school-based teams. Once the child is enrolled, you may find that he is having difficulty in school. It is very common for children who have been abused or neglected to have problems that interfere with learning. Sometimes these problems go away once the child has had time to adjust to the changes in his life. If they don't, the school has a responsibility to refer the child to a school-based team. The team, which includes the child's teachers and learning specialists, is responsible for developing interventions to address the problems that interfere with learning. This is called the Response to Intervention, RTI, process. If your child is referred to a school-based team, you need to know 2 things. First, as the child's caregiver, you will be invited to participate in meetings at the school to discuss the child's progress. Do go to these meetings. Ask questions. The school is required to explain the interventions to you and to keep and show you data that indicate whether the interventions are working. Secondly, if you suspect that the child may have a disability that is making it hard for him to learn in school, you need to know that a student's parent or guardian has the right at any time to request that the child be evaluated by the school district at no charge. This is called a psychoeducational evaluation. You do not have to wait for the school-based team to suggest that the child be evaluated. If you think that the child may have a disability, you should talk to the child's case manager about requesting an evaluation. Warning signs that the child may have a disability that affects learning include low or failing grades, and an inability to complete homework, the school's retention of the child in the same grade, low FCAT scores, a physician's diagnosis of a medical or mental condition that affects the child's ability to behave in a school setting or to do classroom work, reports of behavior problems in school, or reports that the child is easily distracted. If a psychoeducational evaluation is done and it shows that the child has a disability, adjustments can be made in the classroom to help him learn. For example, he might receive extra time to complete tests and homework assignments. If he is easily distracted, he might be seated near the teacher or in the quietest part of the classroom. All of these adjustments are called accommodations and are put in a written plan, which is called a 504 plan. If the evaluation shows that the child also needs special education services in addition to accommodations, the school-based team will develop an individual education plan, or IEP, for the child. That plan will list all of the accommodations and services that the child needs in order to learn. The school is then obliged to follow that plan. If you have any problems getting a school to evaluate your child, you can call the Education Advocacy Law Project at the Legal Aid Society for advice.